that's working. Mic's working. Okay. All right. Water. There it is. Decided to do try to do streaming standing up today. Just, out of curiosity. Cat hair. Just for fun. All right. Let me get my... Okay, yeah, like that. Okay. So I think this is at a decent level. All right, so yeah, we're gonna try out standing up today. So hi there, I'm Boxcat. This camera is kind of like, I think I need it like this. Maybe I just need to move this closer. Oh, that works. Okay. All right, I still sound okay if I'm like over here. I think. I hope. Probably. All right. So, does it sound all right? How about if I'm like looking this way? Can you still hear me? Seems like it. Okay. I'll keep this in like this for a tiny bit. Alright, but yes, I'm Boxcat, and we're gonna finish, or try to finish Yves' route in the fan disc today. We started it last night. Or, not started it, we continued it. Unfortunately, last night, OBS decided to be a little bitch and kept like disconnecting, so hopefully, that will not be the case today. That would be very nice if that was the case. So hopefully, I think I could maybe, since this little... Is that too much? I don't know. Fine. I'm wearing Yves colors today. I found this shirt in my closet that's black and blue. And he has like a little ribbon in his hair, so I found a black ribbon to put in my hair. Unfortunately, I don't have a mask available, so it's actually a blue ribbon, isn't it? I don't have blue. I don't have blue, so black it is. But yeah, I try my best to dress up. Let me get a little chopstick on. My area over here is such a mess. Like, I have a blanket, I have a sweater, I have a small, the tissues, which I should move over here, but I have a mini, a mini trash can, a box of like a whole bunch of electronic stuff. Oh, it's a mess. My life's a mess. One could say that. You know, kind of flop it over there. I think let's say this sounds okay. So I'm gonna close that up and put this in here. Ooh, yay! Alright, yay, let's go. No, believe it or not, this shirt, this is from like high school, 2010. I'm like, wow, it still fits. I tried another one too that's a similar color. And that one I actually was surprised it fits, because this one kind of has the loose. And that one was an extra small. It's like, I mean, I hadn't eaten anything yet, so maybe that played a part, but... like, wow, I didn't expect this to actually fit. Oh yeah, let me move this over there. There we go. Chat. Make sure chat's up. Alright. So yes, after we finish tonight, for the rest of the week, we'll be doing other things. And then next week, we'll go back into working our way through the VOD fan disc. Yes, and once again, too far. Throwing off my slippers. Yes, once again, we left off on a multiple choice. I like how that sounds. I don't know. No, nothing can be done. Okay. Wait, no, wrong. Wrong one. Okay, so yes, last time, Yves almost died. He went to Hades, and Adolf and Hugo came by and was like, no, not your time, go back. And, Uncle and Cian had worked together to find an antidote, and they've headed to, Yves, and theoretically, he should live another year. And that's where we are now. He's in the institute. I'm like, I want to say hospital, but it's not a hospital. But he's recovering. Yes, Adolf and Hugo. Ah, yes, I was gonna say they're good friends. And I'm hoping that's correct. Because I wish I could see them, which I do wish I could see them. But it sounds a little too selfish. So, yes. I'm glad that Adolf and Hugo were your friends. If only I could relay that to them. Hopefully that's not until like a long time. Because that would kind of, you know, mean he's dead. I'll let them know one day.
俺たちはいずれ必ず死へと向かうんだから。
Whether now or in the future, we're all headed for death sooner or later. Thank you for reminding me.
二人は天に昇るだろうけど、きっとすれ違うことぐらいはできると思うんだ。
Those two will probably rise up to heaven, but I'm sure we'll cross paths when that happens. Yes, I'm sure we will. I'll let them know everything I want to say, so that I don't have any regrets. I wiped away my tears, and let my bright expression finally come through. The long night was about to end. We would greet a new, unknown morning tomorrow. Whether we lived or died, no one knew what would happen next, but no matter the outcome, I knew I would be with Yves until the very end. I believe that with all my might. Heart. Both. You know, I love your flower garden. I don't know if I've ever said that before, but I think it's very pretty. I mean, they didn't have to have a flower garden there in front of the Institute, but it adds to the look, makes it more, you know, friendly. It's aesthetically nice. The next day, we greeted a hectic morning at the Institute where Cian worked. I could hear the footsteps and voices of the staff around the area. What, our room isn't soundproof? How are we supposed to rest? In the midst of it all, I woke in bed that I was sharing with Yves. It's like, it's just, how are we both fitting in here? It's like, look at that thing. We're like tightly snug together. Hopefully neither of us are like flailing in our sleep. Otherwise, that's gonna be a very uncomfortable night. Just... Ow! Can we have another hospital bed, please? Yves is still asleep, probably because he hadn't fully recovered. I got out of bed carefully, so as not to wake him, and walked quietly to the door. As I stood in front of it, I found that I wasn't locked, meaning we were free to leave the room. You know, if I'm gonna move my arm like this, I'm gonna go get the weights. I think I have them here still. See, now this makes more sense. Now this makes more sense. If I'm gonna do it, I might as well be efficient, right? Nope, that's not what I want. If I didn't think of this. Yeah, as I stood in front of it, I found that it wasn't locked, meaning we were free to leave the room. I suppose it means they have no objectives if we choose to escape. You know, unlike that one other end. Although that was our clones, not us. I guess, slightly different, but I do suspect that they actually intentionally left the things unlocked. But if that's the case, why did Cian bring us here in the first place? As I pondered for a moment, I heard footsteps leaving the crowd and approaching our room.
おや姫君、
Hey ya!
いろいろあって疲れているだろうに、早く目が覚めたのだね。
Oh, dear princess. You're awake quite early considering the ordeal you endured. You're like, what the fuck is she doing? I don't know either, okay? But I feel like I need to move my arm. If I had one later, I probably would have chosen that. Because I'm starting to get tired already. Ango! Ango walked in with his folded stack of garments in his arms. Are you helping Cian with his research?
いや、
Is it kind
君
of,
たちへの
sorta?
届け物だよ。マティス・クロードから預かった君の部屋着に予備の着替えと。
No. I merely came to deliver you these. These are the spares that Mathis Claude brought from your room. And do I have something lighter than that?
リコリスの守護者たる
I kinda
彼に
do.
はこの服を。
Be right back. Let me get something a little lighter that I can like move around with my and like just fiddle with. Be right back. Alright, this works. This works. And it reminded me how much I need to do laundry. For whatever reason, I keep this in my laundry bin. You know, I actually almost, like, back in middle school, I actually tried out for, like, that baton club that you use something like this. Like the... I didn't make it. But I tried out for it. I'm gonna hit something with this. Ooh, it makes noises in there. Well, it's much lighter than the weight. So I'm not gonna be, like, exhausted in, like, 5 minutes. Maybe I should get the fan, too. Like, what? Just... There we go, got the fan as well. Alright. I think that should be enough stuff. This is for the Guardian of the Lycris. Are these new clothes? Oh yeah! I almost forgot. We asked Anko to ask Mathis if he could go by the orphanage and get us some change of clothes. Mm-hmm. Okay, clever that with the blankets. Cover a bunch of things with a blanket. That way, if I do hit something, it's not making like a clanging noise. I will get that out probably. Well, that is a hot mess over there. This is all a hot mess. Maybe I should get the sword. Cosplay sword. I mean, Yves has a sword, so it's not not lasting. I swear, lasting. Should be fine. If this works. Not, you know. Okay, let's do this. Might be a little too, maybe a little too long to, you know, flip around and mess with. Pretty sure they're all the same length. Let me open this again, like, yeah. It's a Zoro cosplay sword. Okay, so actually maybe not. Yeah, a little too long. I'd be hitting so many things with this. Oh well. Alright, sticking with this thing. I don't even know what the hell this is for, but, you know, sometime long ago, I decided, oh hey, this has just been sitting around for a long time in the corner. Maybe if there's an intruder, I have something to fight them off with. So I kept this by my bed for like years and years. Honestly, even if there was, I don't know how effective this would be, but, you know, it was something. So... Thankfully, I never had to use it. Yeah, I'm weird.
研究所内には君たちを敵視する人間はおらず、一般人は今このセルネボルへの出入りを禁止されているが。
Neither one see... No one here? No. None here see either of you as a threat. The general public is prohibited from entering or leaving Cernaval.
それでも万が一ということはある。特にこの国にはない衣装では目立つからね。シアンブロフィワーズが至急手配したのだよ。
Still, precautions must be taken. Cianbrothes felt that you drew too much attention in foreign attire. Foreign attire? We're in the same clothes we always are. What foreign attire? I'm literally wearing the same thing I do every single day. Well, Yves, yeah, Yves does look a little different, but... Whatever.
彼の家を調査した際に見つけた祖父殿の形見を仕立て直したものだそうだ。
He identified it to be clothes from your grandfather, as written in his memoirs. I see. I assume he means Yves' grandfather, because I have no idea who our grandfather is. Do we even have... I mean, we probably... Naturally, we do. But we... I don't know if we know who they are. Among the guards still stationed here, there may be some remaining who had fought with Yves that night. It seemed like a good idea to blend in, not to provoke them.
研究室にさえ入らなければ、署内を自由に移動しても構わないよ。
No, really, all we need is lab coats to fit in. No one would, like, bat an eye. Well, I mean, if they were, like, observative, then maybe they would. But anyone who's not, you know, they'd probably just, like, probably won't know it was us. Not unless they were paying close attention. Although Yves is kind of another, since he has the, Alright, we're back. Damn it. Frickin'. No. What the fuck? Alright, we'll give it 3 tries. On the third try, when that happens, I'm shutting down stream, like this time for real. I know I said that last time, and we waited until like 6 tries, but I'm giving it 3 tries. 3 tries. And then I'm shutting it down, whether I've... no matter what. Alright, let's go. Really? So is it alright for me to contact Mother at the orphanage and tell Mathis that we're safe?
問題ないはずだ。副所長の彼に頼めば使いを出してくれるだろう。
I see no problem with that. I'm sure the deputy director will send a messenger to get your request. Thank you so much. I could finally reassure the 2 people who had shed so many tears for us. Just as that thought came to mind, I noticed Anko's white lab coat swaying with his movements. Anko, if you don't mind me asking, where are your usual black clothes? You're in the laundry mats. He's like, I haven't had those things washed in like 2 centuries. It's been a long time. They're kind of stinky. These clothes suit you well, but you seem a bit different.
ああ、これは。
You see, I got spaghetti sauce on them and I could no longer wear them.
はじめましてです。シアンさんのお客さん。
Nice to meet you, esteemed guest, Asian.
その長い服じゃ研究所内でいろいろと不便でしょ。よければこの服を使ってください。
Wearing that long robe around the institute must be a real drag. Literally. Why don't you go ahead and use these instead? It's like a donut. You're the one whose lab coat literally drags on the ground. Might want to like trim that off. You know, get that like what's the word? Mended? Just, you know, have someone fix that for you. I'm afraid you're gonna trip one of these days. Probably that's why his hair is shorter too. Because they're like, your hair is way too long, I need you to trim that.
誰だ？こんな少年、前のシアン・ブロフィバーズのそばにはいなかったと思うが。
Who is he? He's so young. I don't remember seeing him around Cian Burfies before.
だがまあ、
You haven't
セ
really
レ
been
スの
here
救
very
出に
much.
協力したということは、少なくとも悪人ではないだろう。
I mean, I mean, he is. So, but how do I answer this?
ありがたく借り受けよう。すぐに着替えてくるから少し待っていてくれたまえ。
I accept with gratitude. Please do not wait while we're changing these.
わあ、とってもよく似合ってます。サイズは大丈夫ですか？
Oh, he actually does still have the hair, it's just like to the side. Okay, okay. I actually am a little bit surprised they didn't ask him to cut it. Wow, you look great. Does it all fit okay?
ああ、ぴったりだ。私に合わせて用意してくれたのかい？
Yes, perfectly. I don't suppose you tailored this for me?
ああ、いえ。それ、シアンさんが使っていたやつです。二人とも身長
He's
が
like, I
そんな
hate
に
it.
変わらないので。
Takes it off, throws it on the ground. Oh, actually, it's the same one Cian uses. You two are about the same height, so
なんてものを用意してくれてるんだ君は。何が悲しくてあの男のお下がりなどをまとわなくてはならない。
like I said, this is Anko. This is Anko hearing he's wearing Cian's clothes. What in the world were you thinking? Why should I have to wear that man's hand-me-downs?
あはは、すみません。でも今研究所は混乱しているので、新しい服の手配ができなくて。
Sorry. But with the Institute still in the States, I wasn't able to order a brand new set.
でも、お下がりと言っても大丈夫ですよ。
But you still look great, even if it is secondhand.
なんと言っても、60年シアンさんの部屋に眠っていた新品同然の未使用品ですから。
You washed it, right? For the record, it's practically new since it's been sitting in Cian's office for 60 years. He's like, no wonder this thing is dusty.
60? カビなど生えていないだろうね。
60? Are you sure this thing has no mold on this thing?
という経緯でね。
And that's the story.
不本意ながら袖を通しているのだよ。
So there you have it. Much to my disdain, I find myself in this clothing. It sounded so like Donut to do that. You've sacrificed so much to offer us support, Yonko. The way to turn me into a normal human was likely the antibodies he possessed. I was unsure how the Lycoris gave him the antibodies, but it didn't change my great appreciation for him. No amount of thanks is enough, but thank you very much.
気にすることはない。これも契約を果たし、呪いの正体を暴いてくれた君への返礼の一つさ。
There is nothing to worry about. Consider this a reward for fulfilling our contract and discovering the identity of the curse.
とは言っても、シアン・ブロフィワーズが特効薬を完成させるまでは 油断できないのだが。
That said, excuse me. That said, we cannot remain complacent until Cian Brophy's perfects the antidotes.
と、研究員たちがこちらに向かっているようだ。
Now, I sense some researchers heading this way.
部外者たる私は悪目立ちしないよう、ここで失礼するよ。
As an outsider, I will excuse myself from here so as not to attract attention. Understood. I would love to speak to you again when we have time, Anko.
ん？それはまたなぜ？
Why would you want that? Because we like you. Seeing Anko give a slight tilt of his head, I became a bit flustered. Well, I know we're supposed to be partners, but I feel like we're more than that. Like we've known each other for years. So, I was hoping I could use this opportunity to get to know you better. I'm sorry if asking that is too much.
いや、そんなことはない。
No, not at all. My golden shadow in Anko's crimson eyes grew smaller as his eyes narrowed. He then began to speak in a tone that was lighter than usual.
ありがとう。その言葉だけで十分だ。
Thank you. Your words are more than enough.
どうかあと少しだけ普通の未来に向けて共にあがき続けてくれ。
I wish you two the very best in your future toward a better, in your journey to a better future. He smiled happily, then walked away down the corridor. After seeing Uncle off, I headed back inside the room to find Yves already awake.
それでこれがシアンさんが用意した俺の服？
So, these are the clothes Cian prepared for us? Me? Yes. It feels like it's made of very durable fabric. But what left a greater impression on me was...
黒いね。
they're black. They're very black. Alright, they're black. The clothes were dyed black all over. Not just a plain black, though. It's really pretty, with a hue similar to the Lycoris Neoge's.
だね。君の大事な家族たちとお揃いだ。
You're right. I'm glad I can match your family.
それじゃあ早速着替えてみるよ。ここで少し待っていてくれる？
Well, let me change into them. Could you wait here for me? Sure. Please call me if you have trouble putting it on. He responded with a yes, then headed into the adjacent room. "15 minutes passed as I waited in anticipation of how Yves would look in a new set of black clothes. The door opened, and a dark figure walked in. I turned around to see...
どうかな？
Oh wow, those are
こ
black.
れで着方は合ってる？
Why am I... Should I just put on the Twisted Wonderland robes? I have a black sweater dress. It's the closest thing I have to this. No, I'm not getting changed again. What do you think? Do I have it on right? Yes. I mean, there's 2 more buttons, but yeah, good enough. I'm styling. She's like, who are you? Just as I had expected. No. Beyond what I had expected. He looked exceptionally good in the color of the licorice Neoshes. Wow. It suits you very well, Yves.
本当？変なところはないかな？
Really? It doesn't look sloppy? It looks fine to me. Not only does it look nice, it also looks easy to move in. And well designed. It's well designed, isn't it?
うん、俺もそれは感じた。丈夫さといい、多分これ、戦いを前提にした服なんだと思う。
Yeah, I felt that too. It's very sturdy, so I think this was designed to be worn in battle. Yves moved around to test out his range.
懐かしい。じいさまの気配がする。着てるだけで心強いな。
I feel nostalgic. Like my grandpa's still here. I feel strong just wearing it.
あ、でも、君が作ってくれた服もいいから、どっちを着るか悩んじゃうね。
Oh, but the clothes you made are nice too. So I'm having a hard time deciding which to wear. I suppose you'll have to alternate depending on the occasion. Yves nodded happily, then sat down on the bed. I quietly sat down next to him, and leaned against his warm body. And Yves wrapped his sleeved arm around me. I feel like I'm surrounded by the licorice Neoshes.
守護者として、これ以上ふさわしい服はないよね。でも、
There's no clothing more appropriate for me to wear as their guardian, but with his hand around my shoulder, he pulled me in closer.
戦闘を前提とした服をシアンさんが何の意味もなく用意するとは思えない。
I doubt Cian would have combat-ready clothes prepared for me without realizing it. I guess just in case, like, Donut has some little plan up his sleeve, and there's a little bit of infighting in the Institute, or we have to, like, flee. Although that would also mean he needs a sword ready for him. Ow. Here.
きっと近いうちに俺に何かが起こる。
I have a feeling something will happen sooner or later.
あるいは起こすという予定が彼にはあるんだと思う。
He may even have plans to cause something himself. I see. I did find it strange that the fabric was so sturdy, but you don't have the strength to fight now, Yves. If something does happen, I don't want you to force yourself. But I doubted we had any choice in the matter. I know you said you were willing to go to any lengths despite despair, so that we could be together. I know that more than anyone else.
セレス。
Neither the fire that scorched his body, nor the toxins that consumed him from within would penetrate his soul. Which was why... That's not staying. Since I know I can't stop you, I want you to keep me by your side at all times. Just like how you never gave up and came to stay by my side until the very last moment. This time, I want to do my best so that I can always be by your side. I didn't want to be a weak death that could only wait for him to come to me. Am I asking for too much?
まさか。むしろ俺の方から言おうとしていたぐらいだよ。
Of course not. In fact, I was just about to say the same thing. Yves kissed me on the cheek to show that it was a promise.
どんな未来にも君を連れて行くって誓う。
No matter what the future holds, I promise to take you with me.
"改めてっていうのもおかしいけど、これからもよろしくね、セレス。
This will sound kind of funny after everything, but here's to our future, Cerez. Right. After a week of Yves being under medical observation, we received approval from Donut that he could move as he pleased, provided that the activity wasn't strenuous. However, being uncertain as to what Scene was planning, we were unable to take any particular action.
じゃあ今
We've
はア
only
ン
seen
君
this
も研
background
究所の
once
中に
before.
住んでるんだ。
Actually, maybe twice? No? Once, twice? Not very often. I want to look at their workspace. Yves, move. I want to see their workspace. Is this where they work and sleep? Or... because there's a bed there. Or is it for, like, medical observation? It might be medical observation. Maybe they'll tell us. Ah, it is living quarters. So you're actually living inside the Institute, Anko? He's like, yeah, I actually have an actual bed. I actually live inside. I'm no longer living in a cave. It's kind of awesome. He's like, this is the first time in centuries I've lived inside. It has air conditioning, fresh water, electronics, a soft bed. It's amazing. I mean, I hate that I have to live here with Cian, but it's quite good accommodations.
ああ、いつシアンブロフィワーズにサンプルの提供を求められるかわからないからね。
Excuses. Indeed. After all, there's no telling when Cian Brofis will ask for more samples from me. I know you came to heal yourself, but it does bother me thinking that you keep giving him your blood. I had offered Donut to help in cleaning the rooms here. And this is kind of cool for like living quarters. I mean, they even have computers at their bedside table. They can work in their bed. And that is amazing. That's why I sometimes bring my computer to my bed. Although I can't bring my mic to my bed or anything like that, so, you know, I have to, you know... It's not in... Can't do it all there. This is as close as I'm getting to that. Or maybe it's like a fancy, like, maybe it's like used as like an alarm clock and like a calendar and, you know, to review like what you need to do for the day before you know, get up and get to work. Also, it has an alert system if there's like an emergency. I'm curious what kind of functions they have. So I'm hung up on the everything here. It's just so cool. So does this mean Anko has roommates too? Or does he have this whole space to himself? Because I'd love to know who he's rooming with. Like, who's his new besties? This is probably the most, like, social interaction he's had in a long time. I had offered Donut help in cleaning the rooms here. Inside were crates filled with various medicines, and we quickly organized them in a designated order. With a small portable terminal, Anko assisted us in confirming that the work was completed. If no one told us otherwise, you'd look like one of the researchers working here.
確かに毒素のことを理解して抗体も作れるぐらいだし。
That's true. You understand toxins and you understand toxins and can even develop antibodies yourself.
もしかしてアンクってすごく頭が良くて研究者に向いてる？
With how smart you are, I have a feeling you make a great researcher, Anko. He's like, I'm only knowledgeable in this field. Anything else, like, forget it.
そうでもないさ。あくまで私は番人としてこの世界の生死の真実を把握しているだけのこと。
He's like, we don't do science down in Hades. I'm just in charge of Lycoris, so I have knowledge of their scientific capabilities. Something like that. I don't know. Not at all. I am merely a watchman who observes the truths of life and death in this world.
条件を満たさない限り人間にそれを話すこともできないから存外不便なものだがね。
Furthermore, unless certain conditions are met, I'm limited in my ability to discuss such truths with humans. Now that you mention it, I remember how you were prevented from revealing your identity when we first met. Yves nodded readily, accepting it as fact.
俺たちが死んだらアンクに導いてもらうことになるかもしれないのか。
My chair over here, just in case I want to sit down, because I don't think you're going to be able to see me very well if I sit down in this chair. It's going to be kind of difficult. Alright. Got it. Let's see. I mean, it could work. I think this could work still. I hope. I guess we'll see when I look at the VOD. Oh, now I can't see like the whole screen. Speaking of which, if we die, there's a chance that there's a chance that Uncle will lead us down, right? He's like, if I'm not on break, I might be on break if that happens. So if I'm not there, you know, he's trying to keep his like his whole persona, like, not give himself away. It's like sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It kind of depends.
その時はどうぞよろしく。君がいるなら、冥界で過ごす時間もきっと寂しくない。
I'll be looking forward to that time. I'm sure Hades won't be lonely if we can see you there.
君たちなら冥界に向かってもなおのろけているかもしれないね。
I suspect you two lovebirds could not possibly be lonely if you're together. We chatted as we exited the room to begin our next task. We did stand out somewhat, but many of the researchers here were given leave during the incident. I'm like, I can't see. Mouse. Alright, now I might be able to... Okay, maybe we'll zoom in a little more. Alright, I think I can now. Kinda, sorta. We did stand out somewhat, but many of the researchers here were given leave during the incident. So while we noticed a few ambivalent guards, none were hostile to us. Or maybe Cian ordered them to refrain from any aggressive behavior. As I wondered about it,
タハトくん、それって本当に
Nadia!
本当
Are you sure, Donuts? Really?
セレスは無事で、今タハトくんと同じ場所で暮らしているのね。
Cereza's safe? And living in the same place as you? Right here!
もちろんですよ
Hey!
ナディアに嘘なんてつきません。
Absolutely. I would never lie to you, Nadia. My baby, she's okay. At the end of the quarter, I found Donut speaking into a transmitter. That's Nadia's voice.
通信機で病院と連絡を取ってるみたいだね。
It looks like he's using the transmitter to contact her at the hospital. Aw, she's not actually here. I was gonna say, does the I forgot what transmitter was for a second, so I was like, can you have that on, can you put that on like a video chat so we can say hi? But no, the transmitter is the you know, Bluetooth ear thing. As we spoke quietly to each other, Donut took notice of us and skipped toward us.
ちょうどよかった。今ナディアと2人のことを話していたところなんです。
Perfect timing. I was just talking to Nadia about you two.
よかったら彼女に声を聞かせてあげてください。きっと喜んでくれるはずですから。
If you don't mind, can you speak to her? I'm sure I'd make her very happy. Sure. And I was worried about how Nadia was doing too. Yves and I looked intently at the transmitter Donut handed to me. Nadia?
セレス、本当にセレスなのね。
Ceres? Is that really you, Ceres? I could hear an adorable voice responding with excitement.
よかった。タハトくんの言う通り、無事だったのね。
Thank goodness. So you were safe, just as Donut said.
あれから全然あなたの話を聞かなかったから、とっても心配だったの。
I haven't heard a thing about you for so long. I was really worried. Nadia. It had only been a few months, really? But strangely, I felt as though I hadn't heard from her in ages.
体の調子はどう？カプシーヌが連行されてから病院は研究所が管理してるみたいだけど。
How are you doing? I heard the hospital's been under the Institute's control since Capuchin was arrested.
大丈夫よ。新しく来たお医者様もとっても優しいの。
And we did a background check on this one, right? He's not like a creep. right? No strange fetishes or experiments or, you know, anything like that, right? I just want to make sure. I want to make sure I can, you know, have peace of mind that she's in good hands, okay? I'm doing fine. And my doctor is really nice.
でも他の患者さんたちはリライバーの人に看病されるのが嫌みたいで。
But the other patients don't seem to really like the fact that relievers are watching over them.
カプシーヌ先生に早く戻ってきて
No!
ほしいって。
Do we have... Is it not common knowledge what Capuchin did? It should be common knowledge. I'm kind of angry if it isn't. Some of them want Dr. Capuchin to come back.
そっか。まああれだけのことがあれば院内が混乱するのも仕方ないね。
I see. I guess I shouldn't be surprised that things are still chaotic after what happened. True. Many of his patients must still consider him a wonderful doctor, since they don't know about the crimes he committed. I do hope that's in the plans to, you know, have that be, you know, known to the public. They should know that their doctor was like a pedophile. They should be, you know, aware. Would you not want your child to, you know, know that their doctor was like a freak, like a freak with a genetic like I just feel like people should know. As Nadia herself had been deceived, her tone sounded perplexed as she responded.
カプシーヌ先生がね、悪いことをして連れて行かれちゃったのは
Oh, sweetie.
私も知っているから。
If you could see what he did to you in, like, another life, you would be furious. You would not be this calm about it. I know Dr. Capuchin did something bad, and that's why he was taken away.
悲しいけれど納得はできたの。
It's sad, but I can see why it happened.
でもあれからどうしてか兄様とも簡単に会えなくなってしまって。
But since then, it's been difficult to see my brother.
ちょっぴり寂しかった。だからあなたたちの声が聞けてとっても嬉しいわ。
So it's been a little lonely, which is why I'm really happy to see you two now. Here, you two now. Nadia. I wasn't sure how to respond to her happy voice. I mean, Lucas delivered us, like, some books recently, right? So he should theoretically still be alive, right? Oh, now I'm too high. Alright, we can fix that. Wait, it's over here. No lower. Good enough. seemed that there was information. It seemed that there was information that had been withheld from Nadia. Lucas, who acted as Barreau, was currently a fugitive on the run. I heard he had been meeting with her in secret. Considering the strengths of his constitution, I'm sure that it was easy enough for Lucas to visit Nadia. From the sound of it, the frequency of his visits had dwindled. We should look for the other caves. He's living in one of the caves. You know, maybe he's closer than we think. Guilt struck my heart. This is all because I wished for us to live. That wish was now taken away from her brother, Lucas, as well as her wish for them to live together. Despite that, she didn't reprimand or blame us for what happened.
ナディアにとってそれだけ君は大切な友達なんだよ。
That's just how important of a friend you are to Nadia. Noticing my silence, Yves whispered gently into my ear.
実はあれからナディアとはちょくちょく連絡を取ってるんです。
You see, I've actually been in frequent contact with Nadia.
事件に巻き込んでしまったお詫びもありますし、
I mean, we do owe her one since we dragged her into this mess.
何よりも僕自身が彼女と友達として関わり続けたいと強く思ったので。
What's more, I really want to continue the friendship we nurtured.
お詫びなんて気にしなくていいのに。私もこれからもずっとダート君とお友達でいたいわ。
As long as Nadia is alive, Donut has a higher chance of not going like, you know, of not doing anything like too extreme. It's not a certainty, but it's a higher chance, and that's something. You don't need to feel sorry. I want to stay friends with you for as long as possible, Donut.
よかったら今度またセレスたちと一緒に病院へ遊びに来て。
If you don't mind, please come and visit me at the hospital again, Ceres.
きっと兄様も来てくれると思うの。
I'm sure my dear brother will come by and see us too.
ええ、都合がつけば。
Yeah, we'll visit when we can. Unable to give a firm promise, Donut responded to Nadia's wish with a vague affirmation.
ナディア、お大事に。話したくなったらいつでも通信機で呼んでくれていいから。
Please take care, Nadia. Feel free to call us through the transmitter whenever you want.
ね、セレス。
Right, Ceres? I paused for a moment. Yes, of course. There were a lot of things I want to talk to you about, Nadia. So much has happened since we last saw each other. I nodded firmly in response, while feeling a sense of guilt. Nadia went through a lot, thinking and suffering along the way, but even now, she was still happy to learn that I was alive. No matter what, I cannot refuse her kindness.
ありがとう、セレス。私の大事なお友達。
Thank you, Ceres. You really are a dear friend to me.
声を聞かせてくれてありがとう。時間が許す限りずっと仲良くしましょうね。
Thank you for letting me hear your voice. Let's always be friends. Forever and ever. Nadia responded to me with a bright voice. Nadia then said she would get some rest, and quietly turned off her transmitter. I should live like death and be as selfish as possible, right? You know, maybe we should... You know, if we have, like, even if it's not a perfected cure, maybe we should, you know, grab one of those and, like, deliver it to Lucas. You know, so... 'cause I know he's a criminal, but, like, I want Nadia to have her big brother in her life, even if he is behind bars.
Hmm? よくできました。
Well said. I didn't choose to live as death without any resolve. I need to fade off the guilt within me to live.
そう悲観的になることもないだろう。リュカ・プルーストの生命力は凄まじいものがあるからね。
There's no need to feel remorse. Lucas Proust possesses within his body a very powerful life force.
特効薬が間に合えば延命も可能になるかもしれないよ。
There is a possibility he may live much longer should the antidote be completed.
ですです。ゆかさんの動向は僕の方でも調べておきます。
Like he said, I'll check and see where Lucas is and what he's up to. We didn't have the right to denounce what he did, as we were also sinners all this time. But if I could have a wish come true, I wish that his gentle, precious smile would never be clouded again. The next morning, Yves and I were preparing for the day. The plan was for us to help Donut with his duties again, but
平和だけど、なんだか落ち着かないね。
it's like, you remember the last time the day was peaceful? I almost died. What was it in Finding Nemo? It's like, the birds are singing, the sun is shining, the tank is clean, the tank is clean! It's that kind of a... that kind of vibe. Something is going to happen today. He's gonna have that, the true use for that outfit is gonna, come and play.
シアンさんの動きを待つしかないとはいえ、このまま何もせずに過ごしていていいのかな。
I mean, all we can do is wait for Cian to act first. Is it really okay for us to not do anything? I feel the same way, Yves. I'm a bit afraid that my position is starting to become very vague. It feels like I'm going to end up being swept along with the flow of things. That's okay. After agreeing with what I said, Yves thought about it for a bit, then...
よし、決めた。俺もだいぶ体力が回復してきたし。
Okay. I've made my decision. I'm pretty much recovered now.
思い切って、こっちからシアンさんを問いただしてみよ
I'll go and talk to Cian and question him myself. He was planning on talking to the very person he once fought against it with his life. A bold idea like that is very much you, Yves. If that's the case, I'll go with you. I need to keep watch so you don't push yourself.
う。 よろしくお願いするよ。今の俺はシアンさんと戦っても絶対に勝てないからね。
I'm counting on you. After all, I don't stand a chance fighting Cian right now. Yves and I headed to the front of the laboratory. We didn't have clearance to enter, so we tried talking to him through the door. Can you hear us? Hey, hi.
シアンさん、いますか？大事な話があるんですけど。
Cian, you there? There's something important I'd like to... I wonder. Can I get the same effect if I put this over the mic? Cian? Cian, you there? It's something I want to talk to you about. Did it do anything? Maybe it's too... It might not be thick enough. Before I could finish his sentence, the door opened abruptly.
入れってことかな。
I guess we can go inside. I suppose. Yves and I kept our guard up as we entered the laboratory. The room, which was the scene of the intense fights, still showed damage on the walls. But apart from the cosmetic flaws, the rest of the laboratory had been repaired and seemed fully operational. We didn't see any staff around. Instead, in front of the device used to manufacture relevers were two figures.
そろそろ来る頃だと思っていた。
I figured you'd be coming. There stood the former god, and master of the laboratory, and the watchman of death, with whom he kept a contract. One oversaw life, while the other oversaw death. They seemed similar, but were completely different. Seeing them silently occupying the same room was mysteriously eerie.
俺たちが行動するのを待っていたんですか？
You were waiting for us to make a move?
ふぬけに用はないからな。
I don't have time for cowards. Which meant he was planning to leave us alone if we didn't take action.
シアンブロフィワーズ、もう少し言葉を選んだ方がいい。
Soon, Brofees. I suggest you choose your words wisely.
再度決闘を申し込むために彼を招いたわけではないだろう。
You did not invite him to challenge him to another duel, did you? It's like, you know, I lost one arm, that's enough. Not accept my priority right now. I'll go side as he attempted to act as a mediator between Yves and Cian.
君たちもそう警戒する必要はない。この男は今後のこと。
You two have no need to be wary of him, as he is planning on.
いや、今後の未来を切り開くための依頼を君たちにするつもりだからね。
No. He's going to give you a mission that will clear your path into the future. Clear our path into the future?
言葉通りの意味だ。
is exactly that. Cian controlled a screen near him to display the entire island of Arpachel in the middle of the room. Ooh, cool. He slowly crossed his arms and looked at his nemesis.
漂流者の末裔にして災いを吸い取るリコリスの守護者イブ・ノワージュ。
Yves nourished, descendant of the Lycoris, descendant of the Drifter and guardian of the Lycoris that absorbs misfortune.
お前には正真正銘
Let me make this very clear.
この国を救う英雄となってもらう。
I will have you become a hero that will save this country. He said so as if it was something that we could not refuse. Things happen in multiple lifetimes. Why not this one? I feel like I need this like close over here, maybe. You two were able to survive because I created an antidote from his antibodies. But to be very blunt, it was not ready yet for completion. No. To be precise, I didn't have the time to be conducting any research. Surely, you hadn't already forgotten the reason you were dragged into this commotion? The mysterious deaths, Bureau's clandestine maneuvers, the royal family's rampage. Those deaths were connected to Cerez's allelopathy running wild, but...
Hacking だ。
they were hacked.
俺を欺けるほどの何者かが外部からリライバー生産システムに侵入し、メモリの生成に介入。
Someone actually had deceived me and hacked into the Reliver manufacturing system to gain access to the memory creation process.
ある程度の恋愛感情を持てば、クラッシュが起きるよ。
It was updated to only allow for a certain amount of emotion before crashing.
特定の世代に生産されたクローン体のメモリーの強度をかなり低く設定したんだろう。
They must have lowered the memory capacity during the production of a previous generation of clones. The actual trigger was caused by someone who downgraded the memory specifications for many Relivers. Donuts? We also discovered that someone used the underground passage to orchestrate crimes of the royal family and others. RT was among those others. The abducted prostitutes were an unwilling part of his illegal experiments. The same orchestrator who caused the explosion at the Institute during a battle. Considering their radical nature, they will likely continue to act beyond the scenes to obstruct our movements. In order to prevent that from happening,
支援者のあぶ
we
り出
need a
しを
counterattack?
お前に依頼したい。
He's right over there outside. In the building. I want to ask that you unveil the identity of this supporter.
英雄っていうのはそういう意味ですか？
So that's what you meant by wanting me to be a hero? Tension filled the air. If what Cian said was true, he certainly couldn't allow the perpetrator to remain at large, but... Yay! Okay, I think that's number 2. Excuse me. go. The one called Orti was merely used, and due to a physical defect, does not remember the supporter's name or face.
王族に至っては問いただすこと自体できそうになくてね。下手をすれば内乱が起きる。
As for the royal family, any lack of subtlety or interrogating them could lead to a large-scale consequence.
普段であればその程度の争いなど上等だが。
Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't care about provoking them, but
研究所の戦力はお前たちの襲撃によって瓦解している。今王族との正面衝突は避けたい。
the Institute's forces have been decimated by your assaults. I wish to avoid conflict with them for now. It's like, oopsie.
だから責任を取
Sorry
って
about that.
あなたの命令を聞けと。
So you're telling us to follow your orders to make up for what I've done?
今の俺には手駒がほぼないので
I have a few other pawns at my disposal.
な。事件が解決した暁にはお前の肉体にある抗体もどきも特効薬の原料にし。
Once this is resolved, I will be able to use the antibodies you possess to create an antidote.
治安、そして呪いとあらゆる意味でこの国を救った英雄だと国民に宣言してやる。
Then, I will officially proclaim you to be the country's hero who saved us from the curse. He went on to say that no one would ever call us death and a demon again. Cian was offering us a reward that would clear our names. Take it.
セレス、君はどう思う？
What do you think, Ceres? Well, I'll say it, but I'm gonna support Yves' decision. Alright, support his decision. Nope. Alright, back. Alright. It was similar in the sense that we were both Hugo's enemies. I don't have the right to blame the supporter, but you have the right to do so, Yves. I'll support whatever decision you choose to make.
わかった。
Understood. He nodded quietly, then turned his attention to Cian.
一晩考える時間をください。明日の朝には答えを出します。
Please give me some time to think. I'll give you my answer by tomorrow morning.
いいだろう。
That's fine.
私としてはどちらでも構わない。もとより人に落ちたこの男に君たちへ命令する権利など皆無。
You are free to choose whatever you like. A fallen god has no right to give you orders.
どのような決断をしようと私だけはその選択を支持しようじゃないか。
I will support whatever decision you make. Although I may not exactly be happy about it, but you know, I will support it. Anko stressed the fallen parts, and Xian gave a contemptuous huff.
ありがとう、アン
Stop.
ク。そのことも踏まえて、二人でよく話し合ってみるよ。
Thanks, Anko. We'll take that into consideration during our discussion.
最後の最後に、後悔だけはしないように。
We'll make sure we don't regret our decision in the end. It was late at night. The institute, which had once been plunged into chaos, it was now dark and silent. It was the perfect time for us to have our discussion.
さて、シアンさんにああ言った以上、明日までには答えを出さないとね。
And now we did tell Xian we would come to a decision by tomorrow. We both sat on the bed and discussed in detail about how we would approach the final threat that remained. Alright, back. That's like the third time, so... This time is the last. Or at the very least, I'll like end stream and try to restart. And like, or maybe I'll try to change like the internet or something. Anyway, let's go from here. At the very least, they must be smart. Causing all this destruction without revealing the identity of Xian to Xian?
そんな人を放置すれば、また国を揺るがすような事件が起きるかもしれない。
What this means is that they may cause another incident if we were to leave them be. A silence fell over me, us. The once altruistic Yves would have chosen to help capture the supporter without a second thought, but
シアンさんはアドルフたちの仇で、許せない気持ちは一生消えないと思う。
I don't think I can ever forgive Xian for killing Adolf and Hugo.
ただ、それを抜きにしても、
Okay, technically Hugo
俺
was the
たちは
supporter.
この国のすべてを見捨
The
てて、
supporter killed Hugo.
悪魔となった身で、
But Xian, he did kill Adolf, so that one was his fault. I just want to make sure we got our facts straight. Still, regardless, we did turn our backs on the country and become demons.
彼らを救う義務も資格もないんだ。
We have no responsibility or right to save it. Yves sighed, as though he didn't believe what he said himself.
俺はただ君と生きたいだけで、この国の人間をわざわざ不幸に陥れたいわけじゃない。
I just want to live with you. It's not like I actually want to cause harm to anyone else. I feel the same way. Still, what if the supporter actually does call? Alright, we are back. I'm trying a different internet. I'm gonna see if that does anything, if that's better. Technically, the other one I was using was supposed to be better, but we'll see. Yeah, I don't want that to happen either. Meaning?
選択肢は一つしかないよね。
We only have one choice. He brought his hands up to his cheeks and proceeded to slap them as if to force himself to agree with his decision.
この国を救っても二人きりで生きていくことに変わりはなくて。
Even if we do save the country, we'll still have to live together on our own.
逆に苦しみながら生きていく時間が延びることになる。
In fact, we'll have more time to live while suffering.
それでもあがき続ける覚悟を決めよ
Let's push through and prepare ourselves to live through everything.
う。俺は諦めるためじゃなく生きるために君へ花束を贈ったんだから。
I'm not giving up. I gave you that bouquet so we could continue to live. When did we receive a bouquet?
依頼通り
I forget.
シアンさんに協力して支援者の目論見を潰します。
We will support your request and work with you to find the supporter.
英雄になるためなんかじゃなくこれからもセレスと二人で静かに暮らしていくためだけに。
But it's not so I can become a hero. It's so I can live with Ceres in peace.
お前ならそう言うと思っていた。俺の救済を潰した悪魔にふさわしい傲慢な答えだな。
I figured you would say that. A perfectly arrogant response from the demon that destroyed my salvation. Despite the words he chose, Cian nodded with satisfaction.
今後は万人と共に地下通路の調査と情報収集を行え。
Work with my guards to gather information and investigate the underground passage.
1週間後、準備が整い次第、支援者の本拠地へ突入する。
We will investigate, we will invade the supporter's base of operations in a week, once everything is in order.
わかりました。その時はセレスも一緒に連れて行きます。
Understood. I will have Ceres come with me when the time comes. As promised, Yves made sure to bring up my involvement from the very start. Cian flatly responded that he didn't care. Like, as long as it gets done, I don't give a shit. Bring your pet cat for all I care. Like, okay. Oh, we don't have one. We could get one. Bring a pocket poodle on a journey with us. We continued the discussion in detail. It was decided that I would be sending Yves and the others off to each expedition down below and assisting them as needed. Assisting that is yes, assisting them as needed. I had to make
何
sure.
があっても無事お知らせに戻ってくるから待っててね。
Okay. Please be safe. Yves gave me a firm hug, then slowly let go to head off on his first expedition. We nodded at each other without saying a word.
では行くとしようか。この先は私にとっても未知の領域。警戒心を忘れないよ
Now then, shall we? Do keep your guard up, as we'll be entering a domain unknown even to me.
了解。背中は任せたよ、アンク。
Understood. Watch my back, will you? Uncle's like, this is just like the old times. With Anko, who was hiding some kind of weapon under his clothes, Yves set off and disappeared into the passage. A few days passed. As Yves and Anko continued their investigation, the scale of the underground passage and the devices found became clear. Fortunately, they returned safely each time since no enemies were found stationed there.
ただいま、セレス。今日も遅くなっちゃってごめん。
Sorry, work ran late. Back, Cerez. Sorry for being late again today. Every day, Yves returned to our room tired and soaking wet. It's like I've been trudging through like sewer water all day. Welcome back. Thank you for always working so hard. It seems so difficult to investigate that vast underground network of tunnels. I handed Yves a towel, which he used to dry his face.
そうなんだよね。
Yeah.
しかも通路全体に薬液が張り巡らされているから移動も
What
し
do
に
you
くく
mean
て
by medicinal liquid? They already said
体力
that.
も普段の倍以上は持ってかれてる感じかな。
To add, the passage is drenched with some kind of medicinal liquid. It takes so much energy to trudge through it. Like, is medicinal liquid just a nice way of saying, like, sewer water, or...
今日なんてうっかり足を取られて転んじゃったよ。
sewer water filled with chemicals? Today I even tripped and fell by accident. Then let me help you get nice and dry so that you don't catch a cold.
お願いします。
Yes, please. I was happy to accept a towel Yves offered me without hesitation. I used it to dry his hair, and I heard him chuckle from the ticklish feeling. After Yves changed his clothes, I had him sit on a chair, and I carefully combed his now dry hair from behind. Your hair has grown quite a bit.
言われてみればそうだね。切るどころの状況じゃなかったし。
Now that you mention it, there hasn't been much time for me to get a haircut.
もともと願掛けとして伸ばしていたものだけど、切った方がいいかな。
I originally let it grow out for good luck. But do you think I should start cutting it? Do you think I should cut mine? I think you're fine, as long as it doesn't... Sorry. I think you're fine as long as it doesn't hinder your movements. Your hair is very beautiful and soft. And just touching it makes me feel happy.
君にそう言ってもらえるなら、まだしばらくは切らないでおこうかな。
I'll let it grow as long as on goes. In that case, I guess I should let it grow a bit longer.
髪にかける新しい願い事もできたことだし。
I have a new wish I want to fulfill now. A wish? What kind of wish? Can donate his hair to Locks of
特
Love.
に君にだけはまだ。ね。
It's a secret. Especially to you. For now, at least. Yves put a finger to his lips and smiled like a mischievous child. You know that you're only making me more curious, right?
確実に叶う時が来たら、その時にきっと教えるよ。
I'll tell you what my wish is once it comes true. Then it's a promise. So we're at the end of the route. My curiosity was piqued, but if he was going to tell me one day, I shouldn't press too hard for answers. So is the investigation going well?
うん。ある程度調査が進んだら、シアンさんも地下に潜って、ハッキングした機材から完璧な地図を作るって。
Yeah. Cian said he'll go down to the underground passage and hack the devices there to make a map pretty soon.
それが成功すれば、本拠地への突入もぐっと近づくんじゃないかな。
Once that's done, we'll be able to hit our target's secret base of operations. I hope it works. I needed to make sure I didn't become a burden once that time came. With his hair cleanly brushed, I lean against Yves' back. And I hope you'll come back safe and sound again tomorrow. What I shared with him wasn't just a wish, but a sincere request.
その願い、必ず叶えるよ。俺は間違っても、君を置いて、一人で死んだりしない。
I'll make sure that comes true. I'll never die alone and leave you behind. Only in the bad end will I. He laid his hand gently upon mine, which rested on his shoulder. Time flowed by gently and quietly. That's... I didn't notice that someone was right outside of our room. I wonder what Mathis is gonna... Is he gonna find the underground laboratory of genes? My dear friend was safe. And when I found out that he was able to extend his life by a year, I was so happy that I leapt for joy in my room.
イブさんとセレスさんが無事で本当に良かったです。
I'm so glad you and Cerez are safe, Yves.
なぜか僕、シアンさんから定期的に検診を受けるように言われてるので。
There's some reason Cian said that I should be having regular physical examinations. You should.
もしかしたらそう遠くないうちに研究所内でお会いできるかもしれません。
So we should be able to meet at the institute before too long.
そうなの？ならその時は改めて心配をかけたお詫びと見守ってくれたお礼をさせてほしいな。
Really? Then I'd like to apologize again for worrying you. And thank you for watching over us. It was 10 o'clock at night. The voice I heard through the transmitter was the same as I remembered.
いっそ研究所内の厨房を借りてマティスのためのとっておきの料理を作ろうか。
Maybe we should borrow the kitchen and make something special just for you, Mathis.
はあ、嬉しいです。今から楽しみにしていますね。
Oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait.
レシピを勉強して、ジャンが帰ってきたらご馳走してあげます。
Once Jean returns, I'll learn some recipes and treat you all to a feast. Here, learn how to make grilled cheese. And soup. It was a wonderful thought. Just the idea of it was making me hungry. I was so relieved that I felt like I could cry. And this mansion had been very quiet ever since Jean disappeared. It was true that I was lonely, but I couldn't be weak now, after everything Yves and the others had been through. Now that I had heard his voice, I felt like I had finally been liberated from my solitude.
セレスさんはもうお休みになっているんですか？
Is Cerez already asleep by chance?
時間が時間だからね。俺は妙に目が冴えちゃったから話し相手が欲しかったのと。
Well, it's pretty late already. I'm not too sleepy myself, so I'm sure I can talk to you.
実はマテ
I'm
ィス
glad I
に
can talk to you.
一つお願い事があって。
Also, there's a certain request I want to ask of you, Mathis.
お願い事ですか？
A request, you say? It was unusual to hear Yves ask something from me. I sensed that he was scratching his cheek on the other side of the transmitter.
その今すぐって話じゃないんだけど。
Well, it isn't something I want right now, but
マティスが普段使っている店で女性用の綺麗なドレスを用意することってできる？
oh, a wedding dress? Maybe. Would you be able to ask a place? Would you be able to ask a place you usually get your clothes from to prepare a pretty dress?
え？
Huh? I have a feeling it's a wedding dress. That would make the most sense. I awoke from the dryness in my throat. When I noticed Yves wasn't in bed, I panicked for a moment, but I breathed a sigh of relief when I spotted a note saying that he stepped out to call Mathis. Feeling relieved, I headed to the kitchen to get some water. I wonder if I have a cold. We gonna run into someone? I looked around to make sure that my sneeze hadn't woken up anyone. Thank goodness. It looks like no one woke up. Still, there was no guarantee that I won't sneeze again. I hurried to get some water so that I could head back as soon as possible. I could have sworn no one was there. The sudden sound made me turn around with confusion. Is anyone there? We should probably not ask that and hide. My quiet voice was met with silence. I must be hearing things. It's the ghost. It's the ghost of the people that died during the raid. Maybe there's a Burrow clone walking around, haunting the Institute. Man, I wouldn't be surprised if this place had ghosts. Still, something didn't feel right, and it was starting to scare me. I better head back to the room quickly. I don't want to worry Yves if he returns while I'm gone. I shook away the fear and quickly rounded the corner. When? Oh my god, it is... Well, I guess it could be Lucas. Huh? Hopefully it's Lucas and not Burrow. A shadow appeared before me. Damn it, I wasn't actually serious when I said there might be a Burrow clone walking around the Institute still. Like, I wasn't serious. I was joking. But apparently, please be Lucas. It was a pitch black different from Yves' clothes that blended into the darkness. I could only see the lips under his hood. Lips that had the same shape and beautiful pale color as my teacher's. Lucas? He had been missing. Why did he suddenly reappear here? Nope. It is the clone. Before I could ask, the figure in front of me brandished his halberd. Damn it. What shocked me most was noticing the presence of a certain person hiding behind a shadow. What are you doing with Burrow? Donuts? The blade that had claimed the lives of so many was raised high to strike. Not long ago, the man who looked strikingly similar to my teacher stood by Yves' side and laid siege upon his place. This time, he wielded his power for the person at his back. I knew Donut overheard us. He's like, oh no, they're gonna find me. My plot's gonna be like revealed. I have to kill them. I could hear a loud crash immediately after I got off the line with Mathis. hurriedly went back into the institute to discover a number of researchers also startled by the noise.
イブ
Oh, he changed back.
アンク、何があったの？
Uncle, what happened?
ブローの襲撃を受けた。研究所の一部が破壊された上に
Baroh is attacking the institute. He's destroying the facility and
セレスが地下通路の奥へと連れて行かれた。
he took Ceres down to the underground passage. I quickly turned to head down, but there was no way that Cian, who can monitor the entire facility through cameras, was unaware of this. But that begged the question of why he wasn't doing anything. He's allowing Baroh to lead us exactly to where the laboratory is, to where the supporter is. It saves all the guesswork. I headed to his room to confirm, and found that the door was unlocked for some reason.
来たか。ブローを操っているのは間違いなく支援者だろう。
Finally. The person who is in control of Baroh must be the elusive supporter.
ここからがお前の出番だぞ。イブ・ノワージュ。
It's your turn to shine now, Yves Nuriage. Cian muttered calmly upon seeing us arrive.
それ、どういう意味ですか？
What do you mean by that?
まさかブローがセレスを狙うことを予想した上で何もしなかったんじゃ。
Don't tell me that you knew Baroh was going after Ceres and didn't do anything about it.
そうだ。と言ったらどうする？
What if I said you were correct?
怒ります。後で。
I'll be angry later. Cian smiled and said it was a wise decision.
つまり君は貴重な体質である姫君をおとりに支援者のあぶり出しを行っていたと。
In other words, you were using the princess's unique ability to lure as a lure to expose the supporter.
俺たちによる地下の調査は支援者を焦らせるためのフェイクだったわけですね。
So the investigations we were conducting were simply a ruse to smoke this person out?
話が早いな。だが問題ない。無事という保証があっての計画だ。
You're quick in the uptake. But it's no problem. I knew she would be safe.
保証？
Safe? But this supporter had already taken so many lives. Hearing my mumbling, Cian looked at me with eyes devoid of emotion.
お前自身が保証だ。イブ・ノワージュ。誰が相手だろうとお前はあの娘を取り返しに行くんだろう。
You would be keeping her safe, Yves Nuriage. You would go and get her back no matter what you faced. Right, correct?
神の腕を落とし勝利した男がたかが人間に敗北するはずがない。
Since you cut off the arm of a god, I doubt you would lose to a simple human. I'm not sure about that logic, but you know. He spoke from a completely emotional point of view. With no bias, with no basis in the current reality. Like you've lost it. That really didn't sound like Cian, I knew. But I did understand what he was getting at. The fact that I gained the trust of someone who once was a god gave me the confidence I needed. I didn't even need to wield a sword. Are you sure about that?
なら、その期待に応えないとですね。
And then I guess I'll need to answer your call to action.
セレスもきっと諦めずに俺のことを待ってくれてるはずですから。
I'm sure Ceres hasn't given up hope and is waiting for me to come. things had changed. And now she wanted to live. Other. Yves hurried and changed his clothes in preparation for his dive underground with Vanko. Cian would remain behind at the Institute to support Yves and to keep an eye out for the supporters' movements.
支援者とやらが何者かは知らないが、姫君をよからぬことに利用される前に早く迎えに行かなくてはね。
I do not know who this supporter is, though we must go and save the princess before she is used for ill will. And before he gives her the licorice disease. That's gonna be a pain to deal with again. I won't be surprised if that happens.
そうだね。急ごう。
Alright, let's hurry. Yves dashed through the underground passage, following Cian's navigation from the information that was gathered. No particular threat was found during yesterday's investigation, but it's a group of burrows. Probably. The sound of dripping accompanied the appearance of a black shadow ahead. Yves, who was taking the lead, instinctively crouched when suddenly a large blade mercilessly passed right over our head. The one who threw the blade was none other than the murderer Barreau.
見た目だけじゃ偽物か本物かはわからないか。
So we can't tell if he's a clone or not just by his appearance. Considering how much concern Lucas had for his students, it was highly likely that the one in front of them was a fake. So I think at this point, Lucas is too sick to, be running around in his burrow with the halberd. If that was the case, there was no need for Yves to show mercy. He crouched down and swept his leg under the assailants.
Yeah.
He used the momentum of the assailant's fall to heave him onto his back and slam his enemy right into the water.
うまくいった。アドルフ直伝の投げ飛ばし。
Aw, he used his move. That special throw worked like a charm.
お見事。その気になれば剣を振るうこともできるのではないかな。
Excellent. It seems you could use the sword now if you wanted to.
さすがにそれは無理かな。今のは相手の勢いを利用しただけだから。今のうちに巻こう。
Sadly, I'm afraid not. I was only able to pull this off by using his momentum. We'd better get out of here. Before Barreau could get up, they dashed down another path and lose him.
聞こえるか、イブの王子。次の分かれ道。
Can you hear me, Yves, New York? Turn right at the next fork.
この先は通信がつながりにくい。万が一接続が切れたら、風が吹いてくる方向へ進め。
The connection is getting bad. If it gets cut, head in the direction where the wind is blowing.
わかりました。
Understood. Yves internally repeated Cian's instructions in his mind so he wouldn't forget. Their assailant, Barreau, wasn't coming after them. Instead, Yves jerked away from where he was, and in the next moment, a halberd came crashing down, creating a pillar of water. vision obstructed by the water. Yves felt a blade raise across his abdomen. It's actually quite a creative maneuver for a clone. You know, using water as a distraction in order to get a slice in.
Yves!
Bro's eyes were fixed on Yves, as though he was the only target around. Sensing that, Yves braced himself.
アンク、俺のことは気にしないで先に行って。
Hanko, I'll be okay, so you go ahead.
しかし
But he hadn't given up, and was instead suggesting a plan of action to have Anko keep going.
大丈夫。後から絶対に追いつくから。
Don't worry, I'll follow after you later.
アンクにとってもセレスは大切な同胞で助け出したい相手なんだろ。
Ceres is your partner and someone you want to save, right, Anko? He continued.
彼女を無事に助け出せたら
Once we save her,
俺とも改めて親友になってくれると嬉しい。
I'd be happy if you'd be friends with me too. Hanko froze upon hearing those words. Of all the things he was to hear,
大切な彼女助けたいんだろ。なら俺のことなんて構わないで。
you want to save her, right? Then just leave me and go.
向こうの俺によろしく。また親友になってくれた
We're
ら
gonna become friends.
嬉しいな。
I kind of thought they were already were. Kind of assumed, I guess. No, Give my regards to the other me, will you? I hope we can become friends again.
なおさら置いていけるはずがない。
I can't possibly leave you after hearing that. Pew pew! Yay, guns! Anko quickly reached into his clothes and drew out a weapon he had kept hidden. Buro was prepared to lunge forward toward Yves, so Anko pointed his weapon and fired. A lead bullet pierced the enemy, but it wasn't enough to kill him. Sensing the weapon was of a greater threat than the apes, Buro quickly shifted his malice toward a new target.
アンク
He's like, it's alright, I'm immortal. Anko smiled, seeing Yves now free to move, and
先ほどのセリフはこちらのセリフだよ。
you said what I wanted to say to you.
私がねじ曲げた運命の中でもなおセレスと巡り合い彼女を救ってくれてありがとう。
Thank you very much for meeting Ceres and saving her despite the twisted fate that I have caused.
今度は私があの男と共に君を送り出す番だ。
And this time, it's my turn. I will be the one to send you off. I like how this is like... I like how they're doing this. Although we don't have to worry about him dying. He smiled in a way that was somehow familiar.
武器を振り回すことしかできないただの人形が私を殺そうなど肩払いたい。
It is laughable to think that a mere puppet holding a weapon could try to kill me.
その哀れで歪んだ魂この死の番人アンクーが
Such a poor warped soul, Anko. We watch him to death. We'll send you off to Hades. The two who transcended the realm of mere mortals collided.
Anka!
Let go. Go. Anko evaded the flurry of strikes as he fired his gun, and in the midst of battle, looked at Yves. The look commanded that Yves leave now. Putting all his trust in Anko, Yves shook off his hesitation and
後で必ず合流しよう
promise we'll meet later. He ran with all his might through the passage to find Ceres. It was an action mirroring what Anko did back when Yves' other self urged Anko to move on. Except hopefully this time they're both gonna live. Gosh, it's this place again. I hate this place. The capsule was different from the other capsule that reminded me of an egg, but it was the same in that it held power over a person's life. How strange it was that I could encounter a similar situation again. Why are you doing this? I was locked inside the capsule a few meters up in the air, which was likely to keep me from being rescued. I called out to the person hidden in the shadows of the devices. His soft chuckle grew into a high-pitched laugh.
心配しなくても、この場で殺すことはしませんよ。
Don't worry, as I've no intention of killing you yet. His voice altered through some kind of device, calmly filled the room.
シアン・ブロフィワーズがリコリスの守護者の末裔に敗北したことで完全にふぬけた。
Cian Brothes has lost what made him special after the Guardian of the Lycris defeated him.
ならば彼に代わり、私こそがこの国を救うための神となる。
There's a new one. Therefore, I will become the god who saves this land. So you're saying that you're going to conduct experiments that Cian did before?
ご名答。とはいえ、多くの手駒を奪われた今となっては。
Precisely. Of course, I lack many of the pawns I used to have on my side.
私のこの抵抗は最後の悪あがきに過ぎない。
So this resistance of mine is merely a final struggle. He continued.
あなたを奪還されたその瞬間、私は潔く敗北を認めよう。
Which is why I will accept defeat once you are liberated from me.
あなたはただそこで結末を見届けてくれればいい。
All you need to do is watch how this will all end. I refuse.
何？
My life belongs to Yves and Yves alone. I won't entrust it to anyone else. Okay, that makes more sense. I was like, wait, who hit us? I thought we were in a capsule in the air. With determination to resist, I slammed the wall of the capsule that confined me. I repeatedly pounded against it with all my might. This showed that I won't give up.
驚きましたよ。あれだけ悲観的だったあなたがそんなことを言うとは。
What a surprise. To think this is coming from someone who always looked at things so pessimistically.
ですが、あなたが生き延びること、それはすなわち。
It's title screen music. But your desire to live leads to a certain dilemma.
これまで犠牲にしてきた命を侮辱することになると分かっていますか？
You do understand that your device to live, your desire to live, means that you're spitting upon the lives you sacrifice, don't you? Like, I know that. Of course I know that. I slammed my fist once more as tears filled my eyes from recalling those lost lives. If I were the same person as before, I would probably have chosen death from the overwhelming guilt I felt. Even now, the suffering lingered, and I wanted to apologize to those I killed. But still, I won't give up. Adolf sacrificed his life so that I could live. And Yves told me that we would live together through the pain. I won't break that promise, ever. Choosing death would be the greater insult to them.
そうか。ならば、私があなたの罪を裁けるか。
I see. Then I will pass judgments on your sins.
神、いや守護者に挑むとしよう。
I will face God. No, I will face the Guardian. He's right over there. He activated the device, and instantly I felt a mixed sensation of heat and cold run through my body. Damn it, it's the Lycra's disease again. The mutation, the Lycra's mutation. Damn it. It was so terribly painful. And the exact same way as before. I could feel buds preparing to bloom inside my body. Shut it down! Someone shut this down! They've been through this enough times. But if I was going to scream, it wouldn't be from agony. I won't die. I will live. Yves, I will be with you. I will live as death until my very last moment. I would fight against my own death.
よく言えました。それでこそ私の
Oh, hey, Lucas,
誇ら
what
し
are you
い
doing
教
here?
え子です。
Very well. Exactly what I would expect from my dear students. A shadow appeared from nowhere and leapt high above the capsule. Unlike the false versions, this one revealed a frail arm and a worn halberd. Yay! Thank you for freeing us! With a single strike, he destroyed the capsule. And I'm falling. My new freedom was accompanied by my rapid descent into the floor beneath. Amidst the shattered debris, my mentor, who had a pale face from nearing the end of his life, looked at me.
今の私にはこれが限界だ。
This is the best that I can do. And I appreciate this. He smiled defiantly, despite falling with me to the ground.
あとは君の英雄に任せます。
I'll leave the rest to your hero. Just as Lucas exclaimed, another shadow appeared. A beautiful pitch-black figure leapt through the crawling rubble toward me. Aw, this is cute! Look at that!
お待たせ。お迎えに上がりました。俺の愛しい姫君。
What timing, right? I'm here now. I've come for you, my beloved princess. Yves! He caught me, cradling me gently into his warmth. The gentle darkness surrounded me. I knew you would come for me.
俺も君ならあがいてくれるって信じてた。
And I knew you would put up a fight to live. Yves looked at my bloodied hands and smiled with joy.
生きることを諦めないでいてくれてありがとう。
Thank you for not letting go of your will to live. You know what, I bet if I had gotten the bad ends, this would not be happening. And we would end up dying in the capsule, getting the licorice disease once again.
君が俺を生きる理由としてくれている限り。
As long as you see me as a reason to continue living.
咲き誇るリコリスたちと共にその魂を守り続けるから。
I'll continue protecting your soul, along with the licorices in bloom. I will too. The words he spoke were no different from words of love. Even if the antidote was completed, the fact that I had reaped countless lives as death wouldn't change. This fact would continue to haunt me for the rest of my life. Perhaps I would find myself considering death many times too. But I would return his love. I would bear every second of this pain and sorrow I encountered in life. Though the pain I would endure for choosing life would be great, I love you more than anyone in this world. Yves held me tightly to protect me from the debris that continued to rain down on us. He's like, "Aw, look at them." Slightly jealous, but also very happy for them. Some distance away was my dear teacher, crumpled on the floor and spitting out blood. Lucas!
待って、セレス。
Wait, Ceres.
私のことは構わずに。
Don't worry about me. Yves held me back just as I was about to rush over to my teacher. Yves and the coughing Lucas had their eyes fixed on a certain threat.
ああ、最後の悪あがきも通じなかったか。
Looks like my spinal struggle didn't work.
ダーハト。
The one who brought me to the laboratory. The supporter is Donut? The biggest betrayal of my life. The mastermind that caused so many tragedies and even deceived Cian.
どうも、数日ぶりです、イブさん。
Hello.
僕が支援者であることに驚かないんですね。
It's been a few days, Yves. You don't seem too surprised to learn that I'm the supporter.
ずっと味方だった君が調査の話が出てからこっちに接触してこなくなったからね。
Despite being our ally, you haven't really been around since the investigation started. Yves continued with confidence.
シアンさんも信頼してる君を話し合いの場に呼ばなかったから。
It was also strange to see how Cian didn't invite you to the meetings despite your being a trusted colleague.
ですよね。
If you
調
already
査と
knew,
か言っておきながらあの
they
人
just need the
もう
confirmation.
僕の正体にたどり着いてたっぽいです。
I see. He was the one who called for the investigation. Yet it seems he already knew that I was his supporter.
その上であなたという
Like I said,
英雄に仕
confirmation.
立て上げたい人物が捉えるようお膳立てしたといったところですか。
He set the stage for you to come in and be the hero who captured me. But why so nuts?
僕には
Why?
僕なりの
Why did you do this?
悲願があったまでのことですよ。
I had my own personal reasons for everything. Don't I continue to explain? Sorry. I need to stop having fun spinning the chair. He revealed that he was actually the deceased Queen Christine's only son, Liam Withepaw. He gave a brief summary of the royal family's crimes and the history of the curse. He quietly explained that he was trying to create normal humans who would respect life after the curse was gone.
計画がうまくいけば呪いの解除だけでも成功するはずだったんですけどね。
If everything had gone according to plan, we would already be rid of the curse by now.
研究所の爆破によるイブさんとシアンさんの共倒れにも失敗しましたし、
The explosion at the Institute failed to take down Yves and Sienna.
正体を暴かれた今、僕のこの歪んだ国への抵抗はここ
Now
ま
that
で
my
みたいです。
identity is revealed, my fight against this backward country is over. I don't believe he's gonna give up this easily. With that, Donna continued.
さあ、首を落とすなり心臓を貫くなり、お好きにどうぞ。
Okay, you're free to lop off my head and pierce my heart. Your choice.
その上で、この研究室に保存しているスペアの肉体を殺せば、
Once you do that, make sure you destroy whatever spares of myself you find in the laboratory. Maybe? No, he's gonna have some plan up his sleeve, right?
支援者打破との目論みは完全についえます。
That will bring an end to Donut the supporter. As if welcoming his own death, he spread his arms wide. It's like, what are we supposed to do? Yves and I looked at each other. If he really was the supporter person, that meant he was the source of many incidents that had occurred, as well as the death of Hugo. Anger, hatred. It would be a lie to say that we didn't feel those emotions. He also accelerated a curse by giving us that that drink cappuccino told Lucas to give us when Yves was sick. Yves bit down on his lip and paused for what seemed like forever.
セレス。
Yes. I quietly nodded, as I could tell that he had somehow found an answer. Yves took a deep breath in and out to try to calm himself.
殺さない。
Kinda had a feeling. These two, I just don't see them killing, like, in cold blood. Like a friend. Someone who was at least once a friend. I'm not going to kill you. He spoke quietly to his friend's killer.
え？それはまたどうしてです？
Now, where did that come from? Donna blinked rapidly at Yves' unexpected answer.
僕がやってきたことはあなたやセレスさんをことごとく苦しめたんですよ。
You do realize that everything I've done has caused you and Ceres to suffer, right?
自分で言うのもなんですけど、なぶり殺しにされて当然っていうか。
I know it's hard for me to say this, but I should be killed in the worst way possible.
恨みはあるよ。当然だ。でも君を殺したら。
It's true that I bear a grudge. But if I kill you,
君を大切な友達だと思っているナディアを悲しませることになる。
it'll make Nadia sad, since she sees you as dear friend. You know, I know it's not Nadia's fault, but she has ended up surrounding herself with criminals. Actually, yeah, they're all criminals. Cappuccine, who was her doctor, criminal. Lucas killed a bunch of people, criminal. Her brother. Donut, her friend, criminal, try to kill the country. Yeah, she's... Sweetie, Nadia, sweetie, you need new friends. You need new friends. It'll make Nadia sad, since she sees you as a dear friend.
だから殺さない。俺たちに敗北したと認めるなら。
Which is why I won't kill you. If you're going to admit defeat.
彼女が生きやすい国を作ることで贖罪としてほしい。
If you want to repent, then repent by creating a country where she can live in peace. Cure her genetic disease. That's your new mission. Seeing Donut confused, Lucas quietly took a step forward. Ah, so that's why Lucas is here. Or one of the reasons.
あなたには聞きたいことが山のようにありますが。
There are many things I need to ask you, but
私がいなくなったことで寂しい思いをしていたあの子を支えてくれたことには
I'm aware of the support you provided by keeping her company while I was unable to visit her.
心から感謝しています。
I
だから
appreciate that from the bottom of my heart.
イブ君の断罪を受け入れなさい。
Please accept Yves' decision.
どうか私にあなたを殺させないでほしい。ナディアを泣かせないでほしい。
Please do not make me kill you. I don't wish for Nadia to shed tears because of me.
私の思いはそれだけです。
That is all I can say for now. At that, the one who boldly spoke of his wrongdoings.
はあ、まったく兄弟揃って何かとずるいんですから。
Unbelievable. Your siblings really are something. He smiled innocently as he tried to hold back his tears. Then, put his hands on his hips and stood with a demeanor fit for a king.
もう仕方ないですね。
I suppose I have no choice.
敗者にその断罪を拒否する権利なんてないでしょうし。
Not like the loser has any rights to refuse whatever decision is made.
この薄情な人間もどきが集まった国を命を大事にできる国に変えられるよう尽力しましょう。
I will do my best to change this heartless country filled with fake humans and make it into one that respects life, which is what you should and kind of were trying to do in the beginning, except we were doing it in the wrong way. But, you know, let's do it in a way where you aren't killing people. Huh? Huh? I think that sounds good.
もちろん呪いを解くのにも最大限協力します。
Of course, I'll provide all the support I can to break the curse too. Which is what you should have been doing in the first place, instead of creating chaos to kill half the country. Which you succeeded in a different timeline. Along with a lot of our friends. As if finally freed from his shackles, he arrogantly declared his promise. By the way, Donut, your mom's alive. And that was all resolved, like, surprisingly easily. Like, so much so that I'm like, I don't believe it's all resolved. Like, is Cappuccino out here still somewhere? Or is Camille out here somewhere still, like, doing the whole deliverer thing? Instead of returning to the institutes, Yves and I left through the passage and headed toward the ocean. Are we sure we should be leaving a Donut back there by himself? And Luke is there, you know, in his condition? Although I guess they are returning to the Institute. Hopefully they actually are. Sensing that he was feeling down, I looked at him and... Yves, I think the choice he made was neither right nor wrong. Those who suffered at Donut's hands would not have left him alive. Yet those who cared for him would have wanted him to live. So please don't feel like this is something you need to bear yourself. We'll share the burden of that decision together.
そうだね。そう簡単に割り切ったら、それこそヒューゴに悪い。
You're right. I'll be doing a disservice to Hugo if I simply accept that what happened was a matter of fact. Yves took a deep breath to control his emotions. He then faced me with an expression of relief and resolve.
特効薬完成への協力は残ってるけど、とりあえずはこれでしばらく静かに暮らせそうかな。
I still have to help with the completion of the antidotes, but I suppose we can live in peace from now on. I believe so too. Now that we have Donut on our side, it shouldn't take long for the royal family's sins to go public. Ocean wants to do about making you a hero.
民から追われなくなるのは俺たちとしてもありがたいけど
It would be nice for us not to be chased by the public, but... Yves nodded firmly.
名前ノワージュのせいだけ貸すことにするよ俺自身は英雄になるつもりなんてない
My name. I'll just let him use the Neo's name. I have no intention of being a hero. It's like, you're gonna be a hero whether you like it or not, okay?
俺は今まで通り静かに君と過ごしていければそれでいいから
I'm good as long as I can spend the rest of my life with you, in peace. That sounds really nice. I'd like that too. He must be refusing the title of hero because he couldn't forgive himself for all the sins he committed. The night was about to end. Was it? We will be greeting a new tomorrow, similar to before. Just slightly different now. We gazed at the ocean, slowly being painted in gentle colors. We reminisced about what happened. As we reminisced about what happened.
セレス
I could hear the sound of the rustling clothing. Upon hearing Yves say my name, I turned toward him and saw him on one knee. Aww. Yves?
この事件が解決したら君に伝えたいことがあったんだ
There's something I wanted to tell you once everything was over. It was like that night. The night when Yves kneeled in a similar manner amid the flames, asking for my hand in marriage. This time in a more, like, peaceful situation, not among, like, death. Let's do this a normal way. He took a deep breath, and with all his hearts,
結婚式を挙げよ
let's get married.
うどうか名実ともにリコリスの花嫁になってください
In name and deed. Please be my Lycoris bride. And in life. You know, life, that's kind of an important thing. Last time we decided we'd do it in death. This time, life, okay? Married? An actual marriage had never truly crossed my mind before.
うん俺もね傲慢に生きると言っておきながらそんなことをする資格はないと思ってた
Yeah. I said I live arrogantly, and yet I thought I didn't have the right to marry.
でも夢に出てきた相棒が
But in my dream, my old partner said... Flashback? Yep. I knew there was one.
彼女としたいこと、してやりたいことがまだ山のようにあるんだろ
You two still have a lot of things you need to see and do, don't you?
なら悪魔らしく傲慢にその願いを叶えちまえよ
If so, then be an arrogant demon and make those dreams a reality.
そう言って背中を押してくれたから
He actually supported me with those words.
この世界とじいさまと始祖様が残してくれたリコリスの花畑に
We have this world in the Lycoris field that my grandfather left for us. And
君が俺のお嫁さんだって堂々と伝えたいんだ
I want to be able to face them and proudly say that you're my bride. And make a tiny little house in the field of the Lycoris. And it'll be pretty. was not only his words, but his gentle eyes that captivated me. Before long, tears flowed down my cheeks. Why? Why? I was deaf, and I had taken so many people's lives until now. Yet I was still alive because of the kindness of those I had killed. I would likely never find an answer to why this was happening, and I would continue to suffer with that thought forever. But if I was able to raise my head up, even a little, are you really sure? I was so happy. I wanted to nod in agreement right away. But before that, I wanted him to tell me that I could be arrogant too.
考えるべきはいいかどうかじゃなく、君がどうしたいかだよ。
What you need to think about isn't whether you can or can't, it's whether or not you want to. We already know our answer. He teased me, not telling me the words I wanted to hear. But he was supportive in saying that I could do what I wanted. My lips trembled as I smiled. I want to be your bride and by your side. Suddenly, crimson flowers filled our vision. Look! Surprised, Yves stood up next to me, and we both stared at the sight in a stupor.
赤いリコリス。まさかこの国のどこかに咲いている？
Crimson licorices. Could it be that they're in bloom somewhere in the country? I mean, I would assume so. They're not coming from the sea. Yves mumbled as he imagined the flowers he dreamed of blooming magnificently. I mean, they could be they could be coming from Akko. He like has some well, they would have to they would still have to be existing to have grown. But he could always be there somewhere nearby and just like threw some flower petals in the air toward us. He kind of sort of did that in Mathis's story. Maybe the licorices are blessing our marriage.
だったら嬉しいな。
I'd be happy if that was true. With that, Yves pulled me into his arms. Oops. We both looked up at the miraculous flowers dancing beautifully in the air.
そうだ。これから二人で赤いリコリスを探しに行こう、セレス。
I know. Why don't we look for the crimson licorices together, Ceres?
一番最初に俺たちを見守ってくれた彼らへ結婚式の報告をするんだ。
We'll find the flowers that have watched over us and let them know firsthand that we're getting married. I'm totally fine doing that, but it is nighttime. I think whatever, sure. I'm just worried we're gonna like trip over ourselves as we try to go treasure hunting for these flowers in the dark. But maybe the moon is like bright enough that we can see. Right. Oh, pretty. As night faded, the flowers that he protected danced higher into the sky. We would never be able to follow the flowers to the heavens, but I didn't care, so long as I could continue to bloom by his side. Yay! And we do need to do, there is gonna be a little bit after this, but yay! We made it! Woohoo! Woohoo! Spin! Spin! Crazy, I'm like... But really, I do think that, like, that was resolved, like, surprisingly easily. I was, like, ready at any moment for, like, something to happen. Because you know how this game does, like, it kind of tricks you sometimes, so it's like, everything's gonna be okay! Just kidding! Here's another trial! I swear I was gonna do that. It felt like it was. But then Dona's like, nope, okay, I give up. We're good. Oh, that bouquet. I keep forgetting about that. That really is a cute CG, too. Be careful of the broken glass.
四方海と黒いリコリスに囲まれていた小国アルペシェール。
The small country of Arbachel is surrounded by the sea of fields and black licorice. By the sea and fields of black licorice.
この国で生まれ育った人間ははるか昔この土地を司る死神が振りまいたという恐ろしい呪いにより
Those born here are said to live under the curse of death, who had ruled over this land since ancient times.
長くとも23年しか生きることができなかった。
The longest one can live is 23 years.
だが
But things have
今は
changed.
違う。ふらりと現れた死の番人に導かれた2人の男はその呪いを見事に解き
Led by the Watchman of Death, who suddenly appeared, there were two who succeeded in lifting the curse.
ビルシュと呼ばれる外界からもたらされた称号を得ることになった。
And thus to earn the title of Virche, that originated in the outside world.
呪いから解き放たれた今のアルペシェールには
With the curse now dispelled, Arbachel had changed.
とある夫婦の証である 情熱的な赤いリコリスの花が咲き誇っている。
The scarlet lycorices are now in full bloom, proof of love between the once married couple.
呪いからの解放に祝福を、普通の人間になれたことへの感謝を。
Blessed be the saviors who lifted the curse. We're grateful to live as normal humans.
シアンプロフィワーズ様万歳、ノワージュ様万歳。
Long live Lord Cian Brookbees! Long live Lord Niage!
英雄となったビルシュの二人に
They do realize that's Yves, right? I do hope so. I know they don't care about, like, as long as they can live in peace, but you know, it'd be nice if they knew we, I just want to go walk through the marquee in peace and get, like, a sandwich, okay? That'd just be nice, okay? May the legacy of the Virche heroes be honored forever. One of the Virche heroes, Cian Brookbees, looked on with a frown at the crowds that gathered in Cernaval to celebrate them. You know, when they say Virche heroes, it sounds like they're talking like, I don't know, Power Rangers or something. Some kind of like... That's the name of like a group of cartoon heroes. Virche heroes! Is it Virche or Virch? The series of events, bordering on insanity, had resulted from Donut's schemes. The truth behind the mysterious deaths, the illegal practices of the Society of Exorcists, the missing prostitutes that struck the whole country, and the countless casualties that had occurred. Including Donuts, every single perpetrator was exposed. Good. Capuchin was sentenced to life in prison. Woo! Yes! Actually, no, not life in prison. I mean, I need him executed. Jean was spared from death due to being a descendant of the Claude family, and was sentenced to public service with Mathis. The mastermind, Donuts, bore upon himself the shackles of living forever in a castle to serve the country until the very end. In truth, he did escape from time to time. His disappearances were to meet a girl who transferred to a hospital in Cernaval, as well as her brother. You know, I kind of wonder, like, once Nadia becomes of age, I know it's weird, but you know, the whole age difference is weird here in this world, country. It like doesn't matter, but like I do wonder if once Nadia becomes of age, if her and Donut will like, I don't know, start dating or something. I could kind of see it. Cian was aware of this and turned a blind eye to the situation. There was still confusion among the public. It was true that a hero was needed to bring the series of events to a complete end, but...
あれから1年、まさか俺まで英雄にされるとは。
He's like, I never asked for this. It's been a year now. I never expected that even I would be made a hero.
これも神を気取り、好き勝手にしてきた代償か。
I suppose this is the price I must pay for acting like a god. This is the price I must pay. I have to be a hero. I gotta pay this price. Damn it. Said only this one man ever.
柄でもない役をやらされるのがシアンさんの食材なのかもですね。
Maybe being forced to play a role so out of character is part of your penance.
まあ僕も王政を排した議会制度設立に向けた調整で毎日てんやわんやなんですけど。
Well, I guess I also got my hands full trying to establish a parliamentary system now that the royal family's gone. Yes. We banished them, right?
王にならなくてよかったのか？
Are you sure you don't want to be king? He's like, are you sure? Because they're going to put me in charge, and I don't want that.
僕が王を名乗るのはこの国の価値観を破壊するためでしたからね。
I only call myself king to help destroy what the country valued.
まだちょっぴり不安ですけど、普通の人間を目指すというのなら。
I'm trying to be a normal person now. Even though the idea makes me a little nervous.
少しは人間の変わる可能性を信じてみないと。民の教育はまだまだこれからですが。
Then again, I have to believe in the possibility that people can change. Educating the public is still ongoing.
俺もお前も人並みの人間になったな。
It seems both you and I have become ordinary humans. Honestly, you always were, but whatever. Cian brushed away the shower of confetti with a frown.
俺に表舞台の役目を押し付けたもう一人のビルシュは今頃何をしているのか。
I can only imagine what the other Viochero who pushed this role onto me is doing now. The other man who became a hero alongside Cian only made public his family name and went into hiding somewhere in Arborchel. No one knew the face of the other man who contributed to the creation of the antidote, but they did know one thing.
決まってますよ。きっと今頃。
Isn't it obvious? I'll bet you.
仲睦まじくリコリスの花畑で過ごしているはずです。
They're spending time together in the licorice field as they speak. This kind-hearted man was widely known as someone who loved the beautiful licorice neoges. We were now living quietly in the newly saved Arborchel. We were now able to walk around town, but we still tried our best to avoid people. No one but our friends and family knew that Yves, once considered demon by many, was one of the beloved heroes. And there were smiling faces everywhere, excited for a bright future. But we would never forget the sacrifices hidden within the shadows. We would live with the pain for the rest of our lives.
さあ、今度こそ誰にも邪魔されず誓うといい。
Now, you can exchange vows without any interference.
この死の番人アンクーが君たちの新たな始まりを見届けよう。
As the Watchman of Death, I will witness your new beginnings.
はあ、本当に感慨深い。ようやくこの言葉が言える。
How I've longed for this day to come. I can finally say these words.
セレスを救ってくれてありがとう。イブ、俺の魂の友よ。
Thank you for saving Ceres, Yves, a friend of my soul.
お前という友と出会うことができて、本当によかった。
I'm truly happy to have met a friend like you.
お前が咲かせたリコリスは本当に美しいな。
The precious licorice you guarded have bloomed beautifully.
セレス、
Someone call my name lovingly as I admired the scarlet licorices.
どうしたの？空を見上げて。
Why are you staring off into the distance?
リコリスが赤くなって半年経つけど、まだ見慣れない？
Don't tell me you're still not used to seeing the red licorices. That may be so. Whether the licorices are black or red, I'm always astounded by how beautiful they are. My dress swayed softly in the wind as I responded to his voice.
そのドレス、よく似合ってる。でも、本当に黒いドレスでよかったの？
That dress looks great on you. But are you sure you're okay with it being black?
ドレスを手配してくれたマティスも、他の色がいいんじゃってずっと心配してたけど。
I bet the dressmaker was like, this is an odd request for a dress, for a wedding dress. Mathis was worried the whole time it was being prepared that you might prefer a different color. It's okay, because it matches you, Yves. See? Don't I look more like your bride now?
それを言われると嬉しいから困っちゃうな。
How can I argue against such a happy thought? It was quite the wedding ceremony with no one but the scarlet licorice fuchsias in full bloom, and Uncle watching from a distance. Since we still stood out in public, we couldn't invite the others to attend, but everyone we knew offered help and pitched in for the preparations, which is why we were able to welcome this day without generating public interest. We faced the direction of the town with gratitude to our loved ones and...
じゃあ、君が選んだそのドレスで、夫婦の誓いを結ぼうか。
Now, let's share our vows as husband and wife with the new dress you chose. Okay. Okay, was my spirited reply. He gently lifted me up in his arms that were now full of life. Looking down at him from below. From above. I could see Yves' beautiful eyes so close to mine. Aww. Before I knew it, I had already kissed him. He smiled boldly, shaking off all the regrets and guilt that had grown inside him over the years.
好きだ。大好きだ。
That's so
セレ
cute.
ス。
I love you. I really love you, Cerez.
この罪深い生涯をかけ、たとえ終焉の先に行っても、
Even if I could live for my sins beyond the end of this life,
君を永遠に愛し抜くと、すべてのリコリスに誓う。
I swear on the licorices that I will love you forever.
どうか俺の永遠の伴侶になってください。
Please be my partner for all eternity. He shared this truth with a feeling greater than the world could contain. I nodded in response as I felt the warmth of his embrace envelop me. Every word he spoke was so melodic and endearing. Now that I think about it, Yves has always showered me with words like this. That he liked me. That he wouldn't let me die. That he loved me. He was always first to say these things. But this time, I would muster the courage to take the initiative. No. It was something I needed to get off my chest. I feel the same way. I promise to love you with all my soul, my dear Lycoris groom. Please keep the sinful bride by your side, even if you travel to the ends of Hades. My feelings for him were overflowing, and I couldn't stop myself. Oh, I wondered whether I had said it too loud. But Yves responded with a smile and...
嬉しいよ。君らしい誓いの言葉だね。
I'm happy to hear how much of your vow was like you. He lovingly pulled me back into his arms. I could feel the heat of life coming from him. This fact alone made me so happy that I wanted to be wrapped up in it forever. I reached out and touched his cheek with my fingers. With that, he spoke his final vow.
共に冥界の先まで行こう。君と一緒なら、どんな絶望だって怖くない。
Let's go to Hades together when time comes. If I'm with you, I won't be afraid of despair.
君のことを世界と冥界で
In this world and in Hades.
唯一愛してる。セレス。
You're my only love, Ceres. As if to bless me and Yves, the air was filled with a blizzard of vibrant red. We would meet many people as we sailed the ocean of life, but no matter what happened, our feelings in this beautiful scarlet Lycoris would never wilt. The story of Niorj would continue forever and ever. There it is. There we go.
好きだ。大好きだ。この世界だけじゃなく、天も冥界もひっくるめて、君のことを唯一愛してる。俺はこれからも永遠に英雄ではなく、君に寄り添うリコリスの花婿として、その魂ごと愛し続けると誓うよ。この先どんな苦しみがあろうと、一緒に生き続けよう。
Here we go. Yay! We did it! We finished Yves' route. Now all we got left is Adolf and Anko, and then the Drifter story, and then the Anko story. And then we'll be done with the game. But yes, this is going to be it for today. We'll get back to this game probably next week. Tomorrow we'll probably be doing maybe Love and Deep Space. If not, then Twisted Wonderland. And I do have a indie game planned for this week as well. But yeah, that's it. If you enjoyed this, go ahead and check all the VODs on my Twitch channel and follow and, follow me on the social medias and stuff. And, I guess that's it. And this is kind of fun standing up. Kind of different. But yes, yay! I'm happy they have a happy ending. And we'll have to have another wedding when we get to Hades, so Hugo and Adolf can, join in and, you know, witness it. But until then, and her dress is actually pretty. Maybe every now and then we can go into town and get sandwiches. To the marquee! Anyway, yes, that'll be it. Thank you for joining me. Have a nice night, morning, afternoon, evening, or whatever time it is. And I hope to see you again. So, bye-bye. And... use my arm. And stop the stream. Bye-bye.